Welcome to my channel. I would like to invite you to have a little creativity party with me, so to speak. If that sounds really corny to you, that is okay. I just think it's cute, and it wasn't like totally my idea. I've been wanting to do just some like chat with me videos, and the idea of creativity came actually from this book, Creative Awakening Creativity by Carrie Schmidt. In this book, she gives you a lot of different little rituals to do that can help you get more in tune with yourself and more in touch with your own creative spirit. And it's a wonderful book. Eventually, I would like to do like a whole review on it. But that's where the term creativity came from. And I don't know if she made that up or also heard that somewhere else, but I just found it really cute. So I thought maybe that could be the name of this like little series. I'm thinking of making this be a little series on my channel. And this is like the introduction video for this little series. Creativity time, and it's just like a let's have a chat type of series. I say a lot. I notice I'm working on this talking to the camera and it's weird. But anyway, one of the reasons that I wanted to make a YouTube channel is that the last few years of my life, I've faced a lot of challenges, and I feel like along the way, I have found a lot of different tools and practices and books and teachers that have really helped me through some of the challenges I've been through recently, and have really been helping me kind of heal things from the past. And in that process, I feel like I had the unexpected surprise that in that process of sort of coming back to my center, to my core, and really like kind of investigating what it is that makes me tick, and the thought patterns that I'm running a lot that are often very limiting beliefs and things like that. So in this process that I feel like I've been going through these last few years, one of the unexpected gifts of that is that I feel like my creativity started to wake up, And so I started to develop a creative practice. And for me, I think it's really a spiritual practice. My creative practice is also a spiritual practice. And I really, when I started thinking about making a YouTube channel, one of the things I thought about was, do I want to have a channel where I talk about spirituality and like well-being and sharing my kind of healing journeys, so to speak, or do I want to focus more, just have it be like an arts and crafts channel? And then I realized I can kind of do both, because it's my channel. I can really put on there what I want. Whether someone wants to watch it or not is another story, but I think ultimately, especially for right now, this channel is really for me. It is a vessel for me to express myself. And at the same time, I would love it if it does help someone else, inspire someone else. But I mean, to start with, for it to be authentic and to even potentially be helpful to someone someday, I think I have to do this channel for me, really express in my channel what is within me that is calling to be expressed. And so I want to make this an arts and craft channel in a sense, but also basically a channel about creativity and how creativity relates to just an overall, how creativity contributes to your overall well-being. Having a creative practice can be a spiritual healing practice. And so this channel is going to be both. I'm going to have videos where I do arts and crafts, and then I also want to have videos like this where it's just more chatting about, creativity itself and well-being and the sort of the art of living a life that is true to you, true to your spirit, that feeds your soul. And for me, creativity is a big part of that. I really do think that everyone is born creative. I believe we are expressions of a creative spirit that is responsible for all creation. And so I think it's in our very nature to be creative, whether or not you believe in a divine source or whatever you want to call that, or even if you do not believe in any sort of divine being. It's apparent that in our universe, in our experience of our universe, there's obviously a creative impulse that is driving all of this. Whether you believe that's a conscious divine being or not, it is apparent that there is a creative impulse that's fueling everything, and we are a part of that. We come from it, we're made of it. So naturally, it makes sense that it is our very nature to be creative. I need a sip of my tea. So I really do think everyone is creative. We're born with a creative impulse, but for many of us, probably most of us, that sort of gets weeded out of us, suppressed in us through our culture, the way our culture is. Little children are naturally creative. They naturally play, and they're all just natural little born artists. And then some of them wind up continuing on with a creative practice of some sort. They just don't give it up, and they keep going, and they spend a lot of time, and they become very skilled artists, and they grow up. And sometimes those very skilled artists are praised for their creative abilities, and in society's eyes, it's like okay for those people to be artists because they are so skilled. I'm sure there's still people that give them crap for that. I know that's something I've heard a lot of artists talk about, as being told, why don't you get a real job kind of thing. And it's like, what? But yes, but then, the majority of people, I think, just the very thought of indulging in a creative practice, we get the idea that that's frivolous or pointless, useless, and who do you think you are kind of attitude. And I think that's really sad in our society, because I think one of the most amazing things about the human being is our ability to creatively express in such a wide variety of extraordinary ways. And so I do. I think everyone has creative potential, creative impulse, and it gets like buried within us, within most of us. And for me, the last, like when I was a little kid, I did a lot of drawing and coloring, and I loved to make paper dolls. And I remember one time I made some little paper birds, and I just sat and played with those little paper birds for like hours. I loved things like that. And then different things happened, and I kind of stopped doing all that. And then when I was a teenager, I went through a particularly rough couple of years during my teenage years, where I was just not coping with things well at all. And I started to kind of dive back into my creativity a little bit, and then received some criticism for it. And unfortunately, I took that criticism to heart, and I stopped. And then, thankfully, when my kids were born and they were little, when they got big enough to start, drawing and coloring and painting and crafting, I started doing those things with them. And that really kind of started to, started to open up something inside me, like remembering that, oh, I love this sort of thing, And then in the more recent years, I had some health challenges, and that caused me to really take a closer look at everything and that's when I started really exploring art more in arts and crafts and things more in my own time. And as I said, that was kind of a result of the challenges that I had been going through, which were forcing me to really take a deeper look inside. And I don't know, I just started clearing out some old beliefs and thought patterns. And let me say, I still have a long way to go. Like everybody, I'm sure it's a process. I'm sure nothing I would speak of on this channel I am a master at. It's all, just to learn. And I'm sharing where I'm at in my journey and what I'm learning. And, some of the practices that I have, other than an art, or, other than a creative practice, I've practiced meditation, yoga, mindfulness in just my daily activities. And, I still forget a lot of what I've learned in my just daily going about, and, and some of the old beliefs and negative self-talk still comes back. So I'm still very much learning. But I'm very thankful for, I guess, the progress I've made in getting back in touch with more of my true self and paying attention to the way I talk to myself, and realizing that we do to a very large extent, I think, create our own experience based on how we react to what's happening in our lives, the thoughts that we think about the things that are happening. So, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. So it's tricky talking to a camera. And that's one of the things. So I want to make arts and crafts on camera with you. And I want to have chats about these things that are in my heart and on my mind, and things that helped me. But it's very tricky talking to the camera. It's tricky creating on camera. Like I can just sit down and draw on my own, but then if I sit down and try to draw on camera, it's like, it's different somehow. And I think in time it will get easier. But so then trying to create and talk on camera is, that's double, it's hard. And so maybe separating the two a little bit, having videos where I'm just more focused on a particular art or craft, and then having videos like this where we just sort of chat. Maybe that'll help. So I think what I'm going to do is try to maybe record one of these videos a week and post it of, creativity time where we just chat, and then hopefully one video a week of actually, hands-on doing some kind of arts and crafts. And I will, disclaimer on that aspect as well, I am not a highly skilled artist. I am new to art. So I'm not really giving tutorials of like how to. I'm just sharing my art journey, sharing what I enjoy, what I, how I do things. So I am not like a highly skilled artist, but I'm enjoying sharing what I love to do on here. And so that's the plan, I think, is maybe one of these just like chatty videos a week, and then like an actual arts and crafts video at the table. I would love to do like some book reviews. Like I say, this book is just wonderful, and I have several other books on creativity that are absolutely just delicious books, and I would love to share them. So I figured this would also be a good way to do that, is these kind of just chatty videos, and we could discuss different books that I find helpful that I would highly recommend. I don't want to totally commit or promise that will be my schedule. That'd be like 2 videos a week, and I do not know if I'll really be able to maintain that yet, but that's what I'm gonna that's the idea, and that's what I'm gonna try for. It might get down to where it'd be more like one of each per month. We'll see what happens. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. My daughter came in for a minute. So I think what I was saying was that yes, I would like to try to post like one of these like chatting creativity time videos a week, and then also like an arts and crafts video once a week. I don't know if I'll be able to maintain that at this point, but that will be what I'll try to do. right now I'm not working in like a 9 to 5. Like I'm not working at a job outside of the house right now. Right now I am a stay-at-home mom, and I'm homeschooling 2 of my children. I used to be a preschool um, teacher's assistant at a preschool, and then I got diagnosed with breast cancer. That was the health issues I was talking about. And that's another thing. I might actually make a video specifically about that experience of diagnosis and treatment and the aftermath of treatment. Just because, unfortunately, I know breast cancer is, unfortunately, in our world right now, a very, there's a lot of people that go through breast cancer. And so I may make a video specifically on that topic and how my daughter came in again. So, okay, let's see. Where was I? Yes, so maybe I will make a video about the experience of going through breast cancer and and treatment, and talk about how a creative practice can be very helpful through something like that. But anyway, so yes, I worked at a preschool, and then I got diagnosed, and my kids were very little. I was only 34 when I got diagnosed, so my kids were 3, 6, and 9 years old. And so I stopped working and went through the treatment. I did end up going back to the preschool and worked for another year after I'd finished my main treatments. And that was actually during COVID time. And we actually did preschool through Zoom, like how all the schools were doing, online schooling. So the teacher, and then I was an assistant, and there was another assistant, and we would take turns making the video, we weren't recording videos, we were doing live Zooms with the students, and it was kind of similar to this situation. So you're talking on camera, but it was different because it wasn't recording a video, it was actually a Zoom. So we could actually, thankfully, we could see the kids, on the screen, and that did help, to look at their little faces, and then you really are talking to someone. But it was still awkward because none of us had done anything like that, and you felt kind of like you were recording a kids show or something, and none of us had done anything like that. So that was quite an experience too. But anyway, so after that year that I went back, at that time all my kids were in public school, and 2 of my kids started to have some challenges that really make public school not a good option for them. I won't go into that because that's their private, just to respect their privacy. They both have, 2 of my kids have some challenges that really make public school not a good option for them. So I wound up, leaving the preschool job again, and I'm home, and I'm homeschooling 2 of my 3 kiddos. And so that, that I'm busy with that, with just being mom and the homeschool. And when you homeschool, you have, you have to, really make more effort too to socialize your kids because they're not in school socializing. So, we have like pottery, and hopefully I'm trying to sign up for like a tennis class, and park meets with other homeschool families. We have, in my area, fortunately, we have a pretty large homeschool community, and they're a group like on Facebook, and there's a lot of meets where they get together. So, even though I'm not working a regular job right now, I'm still busy. So I'm still having to weave all of this into my schedule with YouTube and everything, and definitely just prioritize my own private creative practice because that has been so therapeutic for me. So I'm trying to make time for that no matter what every day, even if I can only squeeze it in like for 5 minutes. But as far as actually just making videos, like I said, my hope is once a week for the arts and crafts videos, and then maybe once a week for this, just like a chatting video, but we'll see what happens. So if anyone's still here, thank you. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new, please subscribe. I would like to say I think the last 2 videos that I made, I did get a few new subscribers. So welcome and thank you, and to like all my subscribers, which is not very many at this point. I can, based on YouTube standards, but it really blows me away. Like, think, oh well, in the past, before anything like YouTube existed, I couldn't have shared something like this really with like anyone. There was no, like even when I was a teenager, I don't think any of this stuff, I don't know exactly when YouTube started, but I didn't know of YouTube when I was a teenager, and I think it might have not existed. So, there was nothing like that. So it is very cool to have platforms like this to share with people some, things that we feel called to share. And I think right now I think it's 18 subscribers. And I'm like, wow, that is 18 human beings that felt, inclined to visit with me again, basically, on this platform. And that's pretty cool. So I appreciate everyone who has subscribed and liked. And if you feel it's like leaving a comment, that would be great. I would love to just hear a little something about people who are watching. What kind of creative activities you love, and what it means to you. What a creative what a creative practice is doing for you in your life. If you think that these kind of videos will be something you'd be interested in watching. Although even if you say no, like I said, I'm doing this for me at this time, first of all, and this feels right to me for right now. For some reason, expressing myself in this way feels right to me, so I'm probably going to keep doing it for a while, whether anyone watches or not. But, it's like maybe almost like a video diary kind of thing to some extent. But I do have a lot of things I would like to share. So we'll see how it goes. And I just want to say thank you if you're still watching. I hope you have a blessed and beautiful day. I know the world right now is nuts. And it really has been pretty much from the get-go of human society. It's been nuts. For a long time, though, we didn't have stuff like YouTube, or we didn't have social media, and a long time ago we didn't have radio, so humans for a long time really didn't know what was going on outside of their own little homes and communities. Now we're aware of everything going on around the world, and it is very overwhelming and disturbing. And so I do think that humanity's been, our human-made systems have been nuts for probably almost from the very get-go, but in some ways it seems like it's getting even worse. But I must say I'm actually still optimistic in my heart and soul. I feel I still have hope for humanity, that we can reach a point of a more peaceful, loving world. I'm just afraid that it might actually get worse. It might continue to get worse before it gets better. But I think that it is getting so bad in so many ways, and all of us are more aware of it. I think it's just getting bad enough that more and more people, I think, are starting to wake up and have conversations and look at things and the way they are and why things are the way they are. And because of that, I think there's still a lot of hope that we can turn things around as a collective. I really do. So I would like to advise you to, keep informed of what's happening, because there are things that will come up that we can take action. I've been signing a lot of petitions lately, and you can contact the Congress, which I'm going to figure out how to do that soon, where you can write letters and things just to have your voice being heard. And then, of course, when the time comes, we can vote. So keep up to date enough to know what you need to know so you can take whatever action is in your power to take. But I would also suggest not letting yourself be consumed 24/7 with news and media of what's going on, because it's It's so heartbreaking. It's so draining. Our bodies, our brains, our nervous systems just cannot really process all of that in a healthy way if we're just constantly bombarded with all the negative stuff that's going on. So really be mindful of how much of that you are consuming, and remember that you have power in your own life to be the kind of person that you believe the world needs more of. Loving and kind, the way that you treat people in the store, the clerks at the store, the other customers, the way you treat your children, your husband, your wife, your friends, people you pass on the street, the way you treat animals and plants. Like, you have power to be a loving force in this world. And I would say, with everything going on, that developing a creative practice, if you are called to do so, is actually vital right now for us, because there is so much going on, so much to process. We need things that fill up our spirit so that we can walk around in the best version of ourselves, because that's what we need right now. Is we need each other, and we need to be the best possible versions of ourselves. So you, as they say, you can't pour from an empty cup. On the airplane analogy of, like, before you help someone else and give them oxygen, you first must give it to yourself, because if you don't, you're gone, and then you can't help anyone else. So it is not selfish to take care of yourself. It is vital. So yes, I wanted to say that. And one more thing, as I said, we want to be the best versions of ourselves, but that will vary on a day-to-day basis. We can do our best. Some days our best is great, and other days our best is not so great, and that is okay. We need to give ourselves compassion and forgiveness and love, and treat ourselves like our own best friend, and then we can take care of ourselves and be the fullest version of ourselves, and then we can be more of that loving presence that we want to be for those around us. So you are powerful and beautiful, and I wish you a blessed day, and I hope you find some time today to do something for your creative spirit, and I'll see you next time. Happy creating. Bye-bye. Cheers. Bye-bye.